Coming to you from the back room of your parents' favorite porn store, it is Cursory Overload.
You're listening to Cursory Overload.
Flop out your cock and get ready.
We are in, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to this thing that we call Cursory Overload. You know, let me pass the mic to the creator, the innovator, the ejaculator. You know, the one who came up with this wet dream you know and love as Cursory Overload. Without further ado, K-dogg. K-dogg.
What up, my people? What up, what up, what up? I am Eric, a.k.a. K-dogg Kenner, coming to you live and in stereo in both your motherfucking ears.
Yeah.
What up, Pato?
And this is Pato, and, well, I'm here to, I don't know, react to whatever this motherfucker throws at us.
Here to fuck shit up. That's what you're here
Fuck
for.
shit up. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. Hey, thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in. As I usually say, you know, we know you have options. There's fucking million of them out there. So thank you for, you know, stopping by and checking out what we got to say.
But none of them are as sexy as us.
Oh, well, that is true. I mean, you know, takes hard
Or maybe
work.
maybe they're not as fucked up as we are.
Probably not, you know.
Or
they
twisted.
may be a little bit more talented.
Oh, they're certainly more talented.
Well, then again, who knows?
But none of them got what we got.
Yeah, we got the who the fuck is you element.
That's right. Don't give a flying fuck.
Yeah.
You walk into here, you go, we open that door, zero fucks given, come on in.
You know, that's almost, I like that. We should probably, whenever we figure out how to patch in a phone line and, you know, have callers when we're doing this live, you know, hey, zero fucks, cursory overload, zero fucks given. Who the fuck is you? That's the way we answer
what
the
up,
phone.
bitches?
Oh, shit.
That's how it's going to have to be.
Alrighty.
It's been a minute. I've been fucking busy. I say this every motherfucking time, and I apologize. But
Well, shit happens. I mean,
fuck it, man.
You know what? Let's not jinx it. Let's just do one at a time.
Right.
The other day, we wanted to do one the following day. And what happened? Oh, I got stuck at work, didn't I?
Yeah, you got stuck at work, and then my wife had to have her wisdom teeth yanked out.
Oh, well, that
So
just...
just fucked everything right up the asshole.
Oh, righty then.
Like I slid it right in with no Vaseline.
Dang.
Mm-hmm.
So, luckily, everything's getting better. She's doing better now, right?
Yeah, she's not 100% like eating wise. She's still, you know, still having to watch what she eats, but yeah, she's getting better.
Yeah, well, like I said, usually life gets in the way, but hey, the thing is, here we are, and what do we got planned for tonight, sir?
Well, I was hoping we could maybe touch on this little ditty that we came across. You know,
fuck yeah.
You know, one of the things I firmly believe in is when you're doing something, whether it be, you know, whether you be an engineer or a car mechanic or, you know, a fucking teacher or whatever, if you're out and about or living your life, however it is, and you notice something somebody that does something kind of similar, but really, really fucking well, give them some, you know, you got to give them some props and a shout out. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
And, you know, we came across this other podcast, but it was it's a different style of podcast than what we do.
Actually, yeah, it reminded me of the old days, you know, well, you know, as you know, we're not necessarily spring chickens. So, the old radio days, you know, the radio dramas, like The Shadow, What Lurks in the Hearts of Men, The Shadow Knows, things like that.
Yeah, that's exactly what it kind of harkened back to.
It's exactly what it is. And
yeah.
I loved it, man. Thanks for putting me onto that.
I came across it. One of the pages I follow on Instagram had talked about it, and finally, you know, it finally came to fruition. They had talked about it for quite a while, but there wasn't. They were very skeptical on whether or not it would be a success, whether anybody would want to hear something like that, and whether or not they can make money at it. So I've
Which
been
is the
following it
bottom
for a
line,
while.
right?
Right. Well, I mean, I guess,
Okay.
at the end of the day, you want to make money, but at the same
Well, yeah,
time,
and they got professionals doing the voiceovers, right?
right,
The
right,
voiceover actors, yeah.
really good ones too.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's a story, but not like just there used to be. I know a lot of truck drivers, and I'm sure you do too. At a lot of truck stops, there used to be books on CD and books on cassette, and there was this one group or one company that came out. They were called Movie in Your Mind, and this podcast, really sounded just like that.
Well, yeah. Quite honestly, when I started back in the day, when I started security, we had this radio there in one of the guard shacks. And I used to listen to this AM radio station that they did radio dramas like that. And I can't remember the name of it, but I know it was Civil War based. But I remember I got hooked. I was listening, because I was there all night. Obviously, it gets long nights, so it helps. And just following the story along, I mean, it was pretty awesome, and I couldn't believe it. I was like, so this is what people used to do back in the day. They would sit
Right.
around the radio and listen to a radio drama.
And be just as thrilled as watching it. In fact, I think more.
Here's the thing, though. As I was listening to this, because I mean, it's 10 episodes. I pretty much I started 2 days ago,
Right.
and I just I kept listening, and they're like half hour. I think the last one is 44 minutes long, but they're like half-hour episodes, so you go through them rather quickly, and the story is very, very, very awesome. So, funny enough, we're doing a podcast about a podcast here tonight.
Right. I mean, it was mind blowing. From first episode, I was hooked.
Yeah.
I would listen to it driving to and from work.
Before we get into this, though, do we have any news, any activities, anything that we should put out there?
Not that I know of. Not that I can
No.
kind of think of off the top of my head.
Okay, no other. I mean, other than besides Howard the Duck and fuck you, Kevin Smith, and I mean that with the utmost respect. I may have to shell out some dough and get a fucking Hulu subscription, because that motherfucker's one of the writers for the reboot or whatever the fuck it is they're doing for Howard the Duck. And
That's pretty crazy.
yeah, it is. I mean, yeah, back in the day, I mean, Howard the Duck brings back good memories to me. And besides, Howard the Duck was a fucking freak. I mean, making out with Leah Thompson. Of course, God knows what fucking Howard the Duck is going to do now, because it's going to have a little Kevin Smith in him, or a lot.
That's kind
Who
of
knows?
creepy.
It's gonna be fucking fun. But anyway, like I said, it'd be fucked up if this gets taken out of context. But when I say fuck you, I mean you're making me get a Hulu account, motherfucker. That's all I'm saying.
We've had a Hulu account for a while. There's not a whole lot I watch on it.
Not a whole. Well, like I said, I'm gonna kind of like I did with Netflix. I resisted Netflix forever until Daredevil came along. Now here comes Howard the Duck. So
Well, there's another one on there you can watch, and that's the Marvel Runaways.
Oh, the Runaways. I heard about those. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Okay,
watched the
so,
whole first season.
Like I said, I got Netflix a few months before Daredevil dropped. In the meantime, I got hooked on Arrow and all the DC Legends and all the stuff that's out there. So there's a lot of stuff to watch. So I don't know, might not be so bad, but just the idea of having to shell out another $10-12 for a Hulu account, just kind of like, eh. But like I said, it should be fun. Well,
I'm kind of there with you on having to sell out more money, because I just found out DC, their streaming service, they're coming out with Swamp Thing,
Fuck.
and
Oh man, that's almost like having a cable bill again. Because now I'm thinking
Yeah.
Hulu, Netflix, and then
and
of
I'm
course
like,
the
damn it,
yeah,
Swamp Thing was always kind of cool. I'm like, fuck.
yeah, because adding those subscriptions to it, I mean, that would really, I don't know, that'd take me about $30 extra on my entertainment bill, and well,
Of course, if Netflix keeps canceling shows, I might be canceling Netflix.
it's not so much that they're canceling shows. It's just basically, well, we talked about this. Marvel is
Right.
just saying, "Fuck you, I want my toys back."
Right.
So yeah, so
But I don't
anyway,
know.
all right,
I don't
sir.
know if DC keeps coming up with cool shows. I might have to. I'm going to have to.
I
You know.
still, like I said, I want to watch the Titans so bad, but so far, I mean, like I want to watch, but not bad enough to shell out the $14 or whatever it is that
Right.
they charge a month.
It's crazy. Oh, and then I
It
got
is.
one other piece of news.
All right.
It turns out, rumor has it that Marvel Studios is looking to replace Hugh Jackman as Wolverine.
Hmm.
And we've
Which,
touched on this briefly. Which, come on, man. How old is he? In his 50s?
late 40s, I would say 50s, maybe. I don't know.
But they want a new fresh,
Yeah,
somebody young who can do another, 14, 15 movies.
probably, and someone that
And,
they don't have to pay top dollar to.
right.
It's all about money too. You know how that is.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's funny. Hey, that this goes right along with what we're talking about since the podcast or podcast drama. It's not podcast radio drama is basically Wolverine, right?
Right. What we're talking about is Wolverine, the long night.
The Long Night. Yes.
And starring Richard Armitage as
That's
Wolverine.
Yes.
I had all the information pulled up on my phone, but it died. So, anyways, every episode takes you into a story which involves Wolverine. Involves they're up in Alaska, and it's a 10-part series that is absolutely holy fucking balls deep into the hottest strip model. Fucking good.
Well, I mean, I don't think we're gonna get in trouble for doing this. I'm gonna read the whatever, what would we call this? It's what the podcast, the information on the podcast here. It says
Okay.
Wolverine, The Long Night. Following a string of mysterious deaths in Burns, Alaska, Special Agent Sally Peters and Tad Marshall arrive to investigate. They soon find there's more going on than meets the eye. The first scripted podcast from Marvel, starring Celia Keenan. I've got to murder her last name here. Vulger. And Addo. Whoa, I thought that was bad. Addo Isando.
Yeah,
I apologize.
Asando.
Okay. As agents Peters and Marshall, with Richard Armitage. They put a G here on it. As Wolverine. Also featuring Scott Addis, Bob Balaban, So Ko Chow.
Yeah.
Andrew Keenan, whatever, Bulger, Brian Stokes. And like I said, you want more information, go to wolverinepodcast.com.
Right. And we apologize for fucking up all names.
Yeah, sorry. Southwest over here. Unless you're a Lopez Rodriguez or I don't know.
That's about it.
Or a Smith. Yeah.
Smith.
Sorry.
But it's just fucking awesome. I mean, it really is. There's sound effects. There's fucking, multiple actors talking.
Yes, and of course, it does give you that feel like you're listening to a movie. Like when you do that shit that you leave a movie playing in the background there at home and you're about doing business, whatever, the whole effect, I mean, it's got the sound effects, the feel, it's hard to explain. I mean, it was nice. It was nice to have this motion picture playing in my head as I'm listening to this.
Yeah, I thought it was really cool. Usually I turn on some music on the way home, to and from work. But the last couple of days, all I did was I turned the program on and away I went. And the drive to and from work didn't seem nearly as long. For those of you that have not driven in Phoenix, it's very
Hectic.
Stressful.
Complicated around 4 p.m., 3.
Right.
Anytime after 3 p.m.